Over the years of my life, I found one simple truth, is that if you're born into something, then you will believe it without question. I'm very connected to my parents, so if I found out that my parents did something bad, I would look through every loophole to prove otherwise, because I was born with amazing parents. And I was also brought up as a Christian, and I try to look at other people's perspectives and to say to someone who has not been brought up like me, if you were to say to them, hey, there's a God that can do anything, it seems a little skeptical because it just seems too good to be true. In general, if I learn something, I'm pretty skeptical about it. I'm a researcher. I like to research things. I would like people to cite sources and give evidence because why should I believe something that has no proof? And it's kind of the same idea with Christianity because unless you have seen proof or witnessed a miracle or know the presence of God, etc., etc., it all seems like one big hoax. Because if you have not experienced it, it's hard to believe that it's really there. I went through the so-called crisis of belief, and I think where I had a lot of trouble was keeping my faith because I felt that God wasn't doing anything and that God couldn't do anything with my life. And I realized later that it wasn't God holding back, it was my lack of faith that was holding me back from God. And if you look in the Bible, the people who were healed and the saved saved were the people who had faith that Jesus could help them. That applies right now. That no matter your emotional situation or financial situation or your relationship situation or any type of situation, even if there isn't a situation, if you keep your faith, then God will get through to you. If you're in a situation like mine where you can say to yourself that you don't need God and that you could take care of yourself or that you're fine, stop what you're doing right now. Because saying you're fine is when you're not is only going to make it worse. You're lying to yourself because it isn't you talking, it's the enemy. The enemy is lying to you because you really do need God. And even if you think you're fine right where you're at, stop right there. Because there is always something new to learn and there's always some way to grow. I know that none of this might not make sense right now, but it will someday. Because God is not just going to leave you. Even if you weren't raised to love God like me, God made it your destiny to be his child. And you weren't born just because something happened with two people, but your birth was planned by your creator. And at the end, it doesn't matter if you were raised one way or grew up another way, or if you have a lot of bad habits in life. The only thing that matters is your faith. And faith, right now, is all we need.